morning, everyone. Welcome to today's live. We had an amazing trading session, amazing trading week, rather, last week. Let me just pull up Telegram immediately. So, for our crypto channel, we had 9 calls. That was last week. Gross loss is minus 4%, gross profit is plus 19. So, our PNL, I don't know if you can be seen. Let me see. As our PNL for, you can see that $3,000 made last week. If you're risking $200, so if you're in a group, you can actually go there and see it. It's there right now. So $3,000 in profit if you're risking just $200 per trade. If it's $100 per trade, then you're looking at 1,520. 520. So it depends on what you're risking, and we have our calculator to help you to do that. Okay. Now, if you look at Forex, it was $9,000 in the bags because here we had 31 signals called in the Forex channel. Can you see that? So if you just go to the group, you can get all the details from the group. So today is another day, beginning of the week. We're going to start our analysis today. But first, we have a tradition, and which is in the comment section, just let me know where you're attending the live from. For example, I am in Lagos, Nigeria. Just tell me the city and the country you are attending this live from. And we get started. So that's one way I know that you can hear me by telling me the city or the country you are attending the live from. Okay, I have Tony in Lagos. Oh, I can be seen. My other camera went off, so hope you can see me now. So we have Farouk is in Lagos, Tony is in Lagos, Anthony is in Lagos. We have lots of Lagosian today. Mobo Mboruwaduro is in Lagos. I had to take time to pronounce the name well. We have Isa in Ilorin, Kwara State. Is Ilorin in Kwara State? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, sure, it is. So Benin City, Prince. Somebody said they can't see me. I hope I can be seen now. I hope you can see me now. Sylvester Bayo from Ghana. We have Motivasti, watching from Manager, and OE Varies Store from watching from Namibia. Okay, so yeah, can we see now? I see that. Thank you. So we're going to start soon. I'm going to start now right away. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll do some review. I think you guys can watch me doing some. So if you are not in the Signal group, make sure to use the link in the description to get there. But the Forex and the crypto group, that is one easy way to just take our signals. If you don't want to do all this, if you don't want to do all this analysis with me, okay? So maybe you watch me setting on my screen. I just want to set up. I haven't like set up the screen, but we're gonna do that now. Trading view, trading view. So I like to open a lot of tabs so that we can just get to it. Oh, I wanted to set something first. Hold on. So remove this. So we're gonna start. Our analysis today is okay. I see you, Hensley, watching from UAE. So we're gonna start. We're going to do analysis on Euro USD. We'll do Euro USD. We'll do GBP USD. We'll do USD JPY and GBP. This is for the forex market. So these are the forex pair that I personally trade. Okay, and for crypto, we'll do BTC, USDT. We'll do Ethereum. We'll do BNB, USDT. I will also do XRP. So these are the pairs that I also trade. Okay, so if we're set, we're going to start. So this is the beginning of the week. And you know what I do every week is to start from the weekly time frame. Then we analyze down to the daily time frame. No, I'm not doing good. I'm not doing analysis on good. But I can look at good. If there's time you want me to look at, look at good. But right now we're not doing good. Okay, so this is my last setup. I'm just gonna clean it up. Then we'll start again from the weekly time frame. So we're gonna go to the weekly. So this is Euro USD. What do we have? I can clean up all some of those, all these things, so we have clarity on where we are going to. Okay. Okay. So the weekly, we still have this fair value gap here. So I'm still expecting this in movement to, take care of this fair value gap into this particular zone. Okay. And the range for the week, I'm still going to maintain this range. So this will be my high target, and this will be my low um, bottom target. With that, we'll go straight to the daily time frame. What do we have on the daily? Um, yes, I'm still looking forward to see this particular region taken, because if you see here, if you look at here, we have this break of structure here. Let's say break, retracement down, or had this other break that we have here. Okay, so I'm expecting a retracement down to this zone. I will move up from here. Okay, if you look at here on the daily time frame, you can see that right here we don't have any other block. It's all efficient movement. So yeah, all these ones have been taken. Let me see. Yeah, they're all taken. Even this one that we have here was taken by this one. So this is the order block that is not yet filled. So I expect a tap into this on the movement upwards. Hope this makes sense. Now we can now start drawing our stuffs. If you look at here, if you look at all this movement here, like you look at this particular one, this this is an order block here, but it has been taken already. So I'll not bother myself with having taken by this. So there's really no on this particular time frame. There's really no order block, maybe apart from this particular one that I will have here. So maybe a possible movement like this to this zone, then we can go up. All right, so let's go now to the 4 hour time frame. Since there's really nothing to mark here, apart from this particular one, which is good, there's really nothing else to mark here. So 4 hours, 4 hour time frame. What do we see? Fair value gap still maintained. I really do not want to like this particular zone. I don't want to refine it. I'll leave it the way it is. Okay. Now let's look at this movement downwards. Based on this structural movement upwards, you can see that here is an equal low, which was taken, and we then also now have a break of structure, clear break of structure here. And when we have break of structure, what really happens? So let's look at the previous one. So we have break of structure at this point, retracement upward, break of structure at this side, retracement upwards. We did this internal range. We then broke structure to this side. So we should expect a retracement upwards, right, to go down to this zone. So that makes sense. Now, what can we see? Let us mark them out. The first one I can see here is this one up here. So this is a supply zone above here. Now, if you look here, the other supply zone we are seeing is this particular one. So what does this say? This says either of these two things can happen. I'm going to label this one the 4 hour supply zone. This one is also a 4 hour supply zone. So either of these things can happen. What do I mean? You can have a retracement to this zone and will come down to here, a retracement or a retracement to this zone will come down up here. So either of them can happen. Let's see the one that is likely to happen. Okay. By what? Dialing in more. Now, what do I have here? Let's see. I'm looking to see if there is an equal high for it to actually as liquidity. Yeah, it's really not equal high. Now, if you look here, there's another one I'm missing, which is this one. This one is still valid. Okay. The market can actually tap into this zone as well and move down. These are possibilities. One, two, three. Right? I see this one, this particular one. I don't see it as holding at all. I feel that the market can easily break through this one, can easily break through this one into this one. So this is the one that I see that has the likelihood of holding, but it's where I will require a confirmation entry to go down from. If you've been following me, you know what I mean by confirmation entry. So to take a short position from here, I'm going to wait for confirmation. But because if you look above here, this is a lot of efficiencies apart from when we get here. I'm more likely to take a risk entry from this particular zone. This particular zone, risk entry downwards this way. Risk entry downward this way. But this might take a whole lot of the way to play out. Okay. So this is where I will likely look at confirmation entry to play. But anyway, let's go down to the 1 hour time frame. So on the 1 hour, we can refine this particular zone to here. Okay. I'm going to leave this as a 4 hour zone, but I've refined this one to a 1 hour supply zone. Then even this can be refined as well. And let me take this out. So what is my play? My play is simply this. If it's clear, simply this. One is that we can go lower from here. We can also go lower from here. These are the possibilities. How do you know where to go down from? You can't really know. That's why you then have to wait for something else to happen within this zone to know if we should take it or not. Now, on the 1 hour, there's another zone here. It's another zone. Let me take the highest one. This is another zone here. Okay. Possible areas we can go down from. Now, so how do we now do this now? Mind you, I check my trades on 15 minutes, but I'm starting from the 1 hour. So what I would look for here is if we get here and we have a confirmation here this way, then I'll take this trade down. If there's no confirmation, it means that this is likely to break through. Okay, when it breaks through in this region too, I'm looking for a confirmation entry. If I see it, then I'm happy to take this trade down. The same thing with this place. I'll also wait for if I don't see this here, then I'm waiting for a confirmation entry in this particular zone. This is where I'm gonna take this trade for. If you don't know what confirmation entry is, we'll explain it soon. Okay, I'm gonna show you how it plays out in real time. If you look here, I don't know if I can use this. If you look here, okay, no, this is not a perfect explanation. But I took a trade last week, which I think on Friday. Let me quickly show you that particular trade. So you can see what a confirmation entry is. So it is a GBP trade. We discussed it on on Discord. So this is that particular trade I took. You can see we hit TP nice and square. I made a second entry here, and we also hit TP nice and good. So it's a 4 point, almost a 5x trade. Why? Because I had a demand zone here. You can see the demand zone here. I mean, sorry, supply zone here. And here we had a confirmation entry. So what I'm saying, we had a confirmation entry, a high, a low, and this becomes the entry to go down. So that's what I'm saying. If I see that play out here in any of these places, that is where we take our entry. I doubt that this particular one will hold because we have relatively equal highs here. Let me take this out. We have relatively equal highs here. So naturally, I just feel that this particular one will not be respected. But sometimes it can get respected. So I feel that this one will not hold because of this liquidity we have here. I have a strong feeling that this particular one, this one is going to hold. Anyways, so that is for swing trade. Now for day trade, we're looking at for day trades, I'm looking at um how can I even trade this thing to this point? So now for day trade, mind you, for swing trades, we're looking to take this thing down, right? But right now, we can actually trade this market up. See what I mean? Let's go back to that confirmation entry that we talked about earlier. Okay, so we had the market. Um, it's actually a bunch of equal lows, which tell me this market can likely still break down this way. Okay, okay. For this market, we had a breakdown to this particular point. So if I draw this from this top here, this is last stop we have. You can draw it to this low. See what I expect from this market. Okay, because on the 15 minutes, you say, oh, start looking for trade. We mustn't wait for the market to come over here to take a trade. We can actually start taking trade from here. But see what I expect here. I expect a movement, possible movement, right? Put a movement this way. Okay, then I can trade from here. So this is an order block inside this zone. This one on the 15 minutes, an order block inside this zone. So if I see a breakout, then I'll be happy to take a long position here. Place my stop loss below and my take profit can go into this zone. So this will be a trade I take once I see a breakout from this zone. This will be my trade. But from what I see here, what I see likely happening in this trade is that because we have liquidity lying here, when you see equal lows or equal highs, they are magnets to price. Price will likely take them out. So I see price coming down first to sweep this. Once it sweeps it, and I now see structural break this way, then I can look for trades like this. Don't know if it makes sense to you. So I can now look for entries to enter this way. So you trade based on what the market is telling you, not basically. This will not be my trade. I'll be happy to enter here at this point. So let me retrade because I'm done with analysis for Euro USD. First, I said because we're in this range, if I see the market the way it is now, if it breaks above this zone, then I'm happy to take my trade from here and target this point. Okay? But the way I see this market, I see it first of all taking this liquidity because we have liquidity here, taking it first, then looking for how to go. Then my entry will be at this particular region. If it breaks up first, I'll enter here. If it breaks down first, I'll wait for it to form a structural move to the upside before entering to the upside. Then if it breaks down, just keep going down, just leave it. Okay, so we need a confirmation to enter both up and down. So this is my analysis for Euro USD. Right now, I just have to wait to see what happens before taking a trade. Mind you, if you take like 2, 3 trades a week and you know what you're doing, it's enough, right? If you take one trade a week, it's still enough. If you understand what you're doing, you don't have to take trade every single day. So that is for Euro USD. We're going to go to GBP USD. Now, GBP USD, it's what it does is similar to what we see with Euro USD. I'm just going to clean this out. Hold on, let me go back here and check out some things. Okay. Okay. So GBP USD, this is my last week analysis. It hasn't just played out, so I'm just going to delete it. So it's beginning of the week. We'll do the same thing. We'll start from the high time frame, weekly time frame, then we do analysis downwards. During the weekdays, I don't do weekly again. I just start from the 4 hours. But beginning of the week, I start from the weekly time frame. So we'll have this fair value gap here, meaning the market still has here to cover. And over here, maybe on the lower time frame, we can see I'm expecting a drop down to say this region. Then we can go higher. Okay, because we have a break of structure here. All right, this can even drop much lower. But anyway, so this is what we have on the weekly. My range, I think I'll maintain here and here as my range. Not so much to see again. Then we'll go down to the daily time, go down to the daily time frame to start making sense of what we have. Now, what do we have here? We saw this break of structure to the upside, okay, in the higher time frame. Even if I pull my Fibonacci from this zone to this particular zone, okay, it suggests that the market should at least come down to this 62705 zone before we go higher. This is what it suggests. So I'm still going to maintain here as a possible target. This is actually order block on the daily. So this is a daily. It's a daily demand zone. However, this is where we're concerned with. So if we see here as a possible target, mind you, your other blocks, your liquidity are points of target. It can be a point where it takes out from. It can also be used as point where you target. So looking at this, what do we have? We have this equal low we had here. Like I told you, it's a magnet. I can see that price came there and it was taken. But now what it has caused is a break of structure. Okay, you can clearly see structure is broken. Then what then is our areas of interest? We have one over here on the daily. We have another one here. Of course, I'm going to refine this when we go lower. We have another one here. I like to cover it to the top. It's another daily supply zone. And here is another one. This particular one, this is the one that is I'm actually most interested in because it's this particular move here that led to this break of structure we have here. I can look at it correct. Okay, so now we can now move to the 4 hour time frame. On the 4 hour, we can start doing some refinement. So I'm going to take this out because on the 4 hours, this looks like it's an efficient movement. I don't quite need it. I'm going to leave this one and maintain it as my daily demand zone. Okay, because we are far from it. So here's supply zone. Because we are far from it. Then on the 4 hours, you can see that we can refine this further to this zone. Okay, I don't want to label it, but I don't want to label it here because I know that I might still come and refine it further. But let me just leave it where it was on the daily. Let me just cover this region this way. Okay, so we had a break of structure. If you look here, it is all efficient to this particular zone. So what do I expect? A possible movement to this region. Then we go down to this particular region. Does that make sense? Now, there are other zones we can see here. We can see this particular zone here. It is still a valid zone. We can also see another zone here, which is also a valid zone. This one, take it to the top. This is also a valid zone. So these are possible areas of reversal. Reversal, reversal, possible areas of reversal. You can see this is similar to what we did with the Euro USD. So just take it easy, you analyze step by step. It will start making sense to you when you start drawing out every other thing, everything. So now we can analyze further to see where should we expect a retracement from. It's simple. One is to start with looking for um, confirmation entries at these particular zones. So we have this zone, for example, this particular zone is a supply zone. Okay. Um, what can I start looking for here? I can start looking for, okay, if this market get here, can we get a confirmation entry at this point? If we get it, good, I'm good to go. If it comes here, so like entry models are, it can be confirmation, it can be risk entry. There are some instances where I wait for confirmation. There are some instances where I just take risk entry. For example, if the market gets to this zone, this particular zone, I am more likely to take a risk entry because above it is efficient zone. All these are efficient till we get around this particular point. So it's more difficult for the market to go above. So I'm more likely to just take a risk entry from this zone to go to target this particular zone, giving me a risk reward of 5.66. But from these particular zones, I will be looking for confirmation entries. Now, that is on the 4 hours. So I'm going to go down to 1 hour to refine and see. Again, I take my trades on the 15 minutes. Now, here, um, this is quite efficient. There's really nothing to refine here. This is quite an efficient zone on this particular time frame. So on the 1 hour, I'm just going to take this out because I'm seeing efficiencies all through. I'm not seeing any other block here. Okay. Now, meaning that the zone I should be looking at next is this particular zone. This is the next other block that I have here on the 1 hour. That is the zone I'm going to be interested in this time. So, what do I mean? It means that the market has a probability of going higher, okay, till it gets to this zone. Then we can go lower. Or we can pass it, we can just blow past it. So what should I be expecting? Now, if you look at this movement downwards, so we had a low, a high, a low. Should I call this a high? Okay, and take this one as a high. We went lower. So I want to start seeing it breaking to the upside. If we start seeing it breaking, then we can now start entering. And this will be my first target. My first target will be that way. So if I look at this, this is the last high we had before that particular low. So if I see a break above this high, then I can start looking for entries to take this market to this zone. Now on the 15 minutes, I'm moving to 15 minutes to make to see if I can make it clearer. Okay. So on the 15 minutes, if you look here, there's actually also really not no demand zone. If you look here, you will see that we're having efficiencies all through. See, all the other block has been taken. Even this one too has been taken. It has been filled. Now the last block I'm seeing here, let's go closer to see if you can see clearly. Okay, so we had this one here. It has also been taken. And this is the last one we are seeing here. This one here. I hope you guys know how I draw these blocks. But because of this gap we have here, that's why this is our order block. So what do I expect from this particular trade? It's simple. So if we have this market pushes up and goes above this zone, then this will not be my entry when the market comes down. Um, this will be my entry. This region. I can target this low if I want to go high. I can start targeting like this is my first take profit at 4.3 because I'm seeing a demand zone here. A supply zone rather here. Then my second take profit can be here, and third and the last one will be here. And I'm out of this particular trade. So this is my analysis for Euro USD. This is what I see playing out in Euro USD. Okay, wait for a break of structure here. I like to set an alert so that once that happens, I can come back to the chart to start looking for trades. Now this one I'm showing you are just day trades, right? If you want to scalp, you can actually go further down, so like 5 minutes or 3 minutes, even 2 minutes. I do that sometimes when I see a very good setup. But right now, this is what I'm gonna wait for this particular trade. So again, for Euro USD, I'm waiting for a break. I've explained that for GBP USD, waiting for a break as well. So that said, we're gonna move straight to the USD JPY to do more analysis. Okay. You can see my last week analysis. I was waiting for this to come down here. Let me show you what I mean. So here you can see that I was waiting for a break. If there was a break, I would have taken this trade down. But we didn't see a break. The market just kept ranging. All things that ranges is ranging between here and here. The ranges I needed to break out. So I'm just going to go down to the weekly again. I think I might just leave this way it is here. Then go down to the weekly, then analyze down. Weekly time frame on UJ. My eyes is getting stressed. So weekly time frame on UJ. What do we have? We have a predominantly trending market. Okay. You can see an order block here, which is where I'll be expecting a retracement to see the markets go higher. Okay, but this weekly it might take So maybe next year ending, so for you to see this happen. So we're not concerned with this actually. No point with that. On the weekly, this is the target I had before. It's almost taken out. Um, I'm just gonna move straight to the daily time frame. Move straight to the daily. This is supply zone, possible targets. Okay. Right now we've had this, we're going higher. We had a break of structure here. I was expecting a retracement to cover this zone, but that hasn't happened. But we're really bullish on UJ. So the dollar is gaining massive edge over the Japanese yuan. So on the daily, this is the last break of structure we have. Okay, like this internal structural break, that is it. And here is the demand zone that caused that. Okay, on the daily demand zone. Please don't mind some of the things I do here. Um, Let me delete some of them. These are older analysis. I just kept, you know, yeah. Okay, I can as well remove all these ones. I'm gonna leave them. So I'm not even bother. I mean, not bother with all these ones, right? Because the market is far past all these zones. Okay, so this is possible zone that we can see a retracement to go higher from. Again, you can see me drawing confirmation entry because I'll be waiting for that here to take this trade anywhere higher from here. That said, we can move down to the 4 hours to start making sense of what we're seeing. 4 hours, you can see that break of structure here. Um, this zone still holds. On the 4 hours, the demand zone still holds. We have another one, the demand zone still, we have another demand zone here, and even another one here. But we're concerned with what is happening here right now. Okay, here, I think it's on the 1 hour. I don't want to withdraw it, so I'm just going to go straight to the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, we have a demand zone at this point. We have another one at this point. Okay, so what can we trade here? So what can we trade here? Now we have here. Hold on, I'm going back to the 4 hours. Let's work. So this is a target. Okay, this is a target. We want to see broken, taking and into this particular zone here. So this is a target here. So it's fine to say that um now back to the 1 hour. Sorry, I need to check. I need to do this so it doesn't make sense. Okay. Come on, network. All right. So over here, I want to mark this out so that it makes sense. Okay, over here is a target we can have up there. So back to the 1 hour now. So this is a target, or this is a possible area of reversal. So what I'm drawing this is that if you look at here, you can see from this particular region, we've been having a range from this up to this bottom. We've been having a range. So this simply tells me that if we break out of this zone, then we can go further to this zone. Okay. If we break out of this particular region, then we can retrace to attack this zone and this particular zone. It's what I'm just seeing here. Okay, I'm looking for a breakout down, then we can trace and go, or up, we can trace and go higher. That's just simply the trade. Sometimes it's better you wait, you be patient for this to happen. Hope that makes sense. But that does not mean we cannot trade inside here. Inside here, um, I can see I can't see any zone. It's all taken. So I think the best thing is just to wait. You might just hold off on UJ till you see a break. They can now say, okay, this is not a structure. We cannot trade on UJ because right now it is just ranging. It's better you just wait for the best setup. Wait for a breakout of any of these zones before you can ask, okay, let me start trading this particular UJ. The last one, the last forex pair I'm going to trade is I'm going to look at is this particular one. Like I said, I was in this trade. It hit TP. I got into this one. This happened on what was that? This Thursday. It if I didn't, I think I took first take profit here. Then I entered again here. You can see it went down to this particular region. So right now we are going since we're going up. I was expecting a retracement up to this zone anyway, but it seems that we are trying to break to the upside. So I'm going to clear all this, okay? Then we analyze again. Clear all the fix. I will start from the weekly time frame again. Weekly time frame. Okay, so this is my weekly range from last week. I'm still gonna maintain this range. I'm still gonna maintain this range. Okay, so daily time frame, daily time frame. So I have been expecting this market to do this, like come down to fill this zone. So from what I'm seeing, from the daily, I see that happening. Let's check it out. So the whole of this, if I do all of this like this, it's a break of structure. You can see that. We'll have a break of structure here as well, this one. So if you expect a retracement this way, right, to go higher, okay, that is on the daily time frame. We have a gap here that was caused when the market jumped and broke this zone. And we've been having some sort of movements this way when we're having market has been finding it difficult to push higher. Okay. But again, these are lots of rejection. You can see rejections here, rejections here. The market is trying to reject this movement high, with this movement lower. It seems that there's a big resistance here that is trying to restrict the movement from coming down. Now let's go back to the 4 hours and see if we can make sense of all of this. So here we had, um, let's look at this again. So we had this movement up, down, up, down, up. Then we had break of structure here. We start going down. Then we had a break of structure here. Did a retracement into this order block. We came down. We did we didn't break structure, it's more like a liquidity sweep. But we are going higher again. So I expect, so what I'm looking at is possible confirmation entry from here, and we'll now go lower to attack this particular point. This is what I'm expecting to see happen here. Okay. Again, so this is the area of interest to me right now. Area of interest. How can we get, when we get here, what is going to happen here? Since all this things has been playing out fine, all efficiency all the way. So this is the other block we have left. Now to the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour, we're not seeing efficiencies, but I'm just going to leave this here as our 4 hour supply zone. I'm not going to refine it yet until we're very close to it. Now here we have a break into this demand zone, and we had a movement down. Um, I was expecting a feel of this zone to go higher. Again, the market didn't go do that. What it's just showing is that it's showing a movement to the upside. You can see that clearly, it's showing movement to the upside. So what can we expect? We can expect a movement this way, okay? Then confirmation, then movement down, first target here, then go lower for target. But what can we trade now? What can we trade the way it is? Now, if you watch here, you can see that here is all efficient. It's an efficient zone. And this particular one here, this is the high of it. This is the high. So if the market breaks into this zone here, it breaks above this, there is really nothing holding it from getting here. Again, the market breaks above there's really nothing holding it from getting here. So what can you now expect? We can expect that if we see a break to, let me remove this other one. Let me shift this rather. If we see a break above here, then we can go higher from here. First possibility. If we see a break above here, we can also go higher from here. Hope that makes sense. So let's mark out the zones I've seen here. So over here, you can see a demand zone. Here is a 1 hour demand zone. Over here, you can see one, but this one is still not, it's still in the works. Let me put it that way. This one is still in the works, right? Now, let me make something clear. We need this market to break above this zone before we can now start looking for entries here or here. So we're also going to wait for this particular one. So possible scenarios will break above this. And I want a confirmation entry from here to go higher. Confirmation entry, since we're on the 1 hour, we're looking for confirmation entries on the 15 or 5 minutes. I mostly look for my confirmation entries on the 15 minutes time frame. Then if this one fails, we can still wait for a confirmation entry here, or you can just use a risk entry to take the trade from here to target where this particular zone. This is a 5x trade. Then from here, we can target a trade downwards. Hope this makes sense. Now let's go to the 15 minutes time frame to iron this out. Okay. We have a okay, let's see. I have a gap here. So my analysis still stands on this time frame. Okay. If I see a break to the upside here, I want to take my trade here. But that doesn't mean that I cannot trade this trade. That doesn't mean that I cannot trade this market. I can still trade this market from here downwards. I can trade this market downwards and look for entries here to go up, or look for entries here to go up. But the way it is, there is really nothing to trade at this particular point. This market is moving, is moving. So we just have to wait for this or for this. As a matter of fact, when it breaks above this, we can look for trades to take it down. So you can trade either ways, depending on the opportunities you find. You can trade this market down to this zone and wait for the reaction. If you give it a reaction, you take it up. If there's no reaction, you now come here and wait for reactions. Give it a reaction, it takes it up. Then when it comes to this zone, you also wait for reaction, you now take it down. So there's no instant trade I can see on this three of the four currency pairs that I have, on the four forex pairs that I have analyzed. So let's go to cryptocurrencies. I think I have far spent my time because I meant to do an hour. So for cryptocurrencies, I like to do four crypto pairs, but because the time is fast spent, we just do two pairs, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's do Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, and as well as XRP. There are opportunities to trade in all this. In all this. Okay. So for Bitcoin, I like to start. Okay, this is my analysis. You can see what I was talking about, confirmation entries. What is this? Confirmation entries here. So if we get it, we went lower because we got that confirmation, even though it's a spread out confirmation because of the weekend. And I not trade within the weekend. But you can actually see the confirmation entry here, right? The movement to from here to the upside, to the downside to this point, then retracement and remove down. Even though this didn't come into a demand zone that I would have taken a trade from, but it took off from this particular zone. But anyways, let's do some housekeeping here and start again. So what can we see with Bitcoin on the daily time frame? What can we see with Bitcoin on the daily time frame? So this is that liquidation that everybody's blaming Binance for that occurred. Liquidation came to this zone. My network is kind of messing up at this time. Okay, came to this particular zone. Then we had a break of structure to the upside here. So we're expecting a movement to the upside. But the market is behaving differently. If you look at the price action from that particular point, this was actually very much clearer on Ethereum. It looks as if we are breaking lower. It looks like Bitcoin wants to go lower to target this particular zone lower. Don't be surprised if you see Bitcoin at 80 something thousand dollars. Don't be surprised. Very possible. Okay, so on the daily, what do we have? we have the market is basically not making any other high. It's basically consolidating in this region. Basically consolidating between here. It's ranging between here and here. It has not made any other high. It's just ranging in this region. You can see it clearly. So there's no like direction per se on a higher time frame. This belly swept. We're not seeing retracement. So let's see how we can trade this zone. Like, how can we trade this zone? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is to take this out, is to remove this. So I'm looking at this button as my range. Okay. And also looking at here as my other range. So I'm looking at what price action am I going to have to trade within this particular range. Now let's go down to the 4 hours now to see if you can see that. What is the structure we're seeing on this time frame? Now, if you look at here, we saw that this is a structural move upwards. You can see that even though it made equal, it made like a little break here and we're coming down. But look at this is the last low that led to this particular high. I can draw it out. This is that low. Okay, that low was taken by here. So I can now mark this one out instead. And so if I see a break down this way, then I can look for trades this way. So therefore, this is a supply zone I can mark out as a possible retracement to trade Bitcoin lower to $101,000 Bitcoin. So with this, I'm going to go down much lower. Okay. Now, even within this structure here, you can see that this internal structure, we are seeing a high, a low, another like equal high, basically. And you can see this is structure. We can look to start breaking. So even if we don't see a break here, okay, this is ideally what I want to see. But even if I see this market retrace to this zone, I can now go down lower to 5 minutes or even 5 minutes to look for a trade to take this market lower to this particular region, lower to this region. So with this, we can now move down to 5 minutes. So 15 minutes. So this is 1 hour. Let me go back to the 1 hour. I don't want to do further refinement. I'm still going to maintain this as my 4 hour demand zone, 4 hour supply zone rather. I think so. Even if I go down to the 15 minutes, I'm maintaining my strategy, my analysis. Okay. The only other thing I can trade here is to take this market higher by simply drawing this. Like I can wait for the market to get here, shows me a confirmation, so I can go lower. The other thing I can trade is to look for how to trade this market higher to this particular zone. Let me clean this out. So what do I mean? Since I'm waiting for a confirmation entry here, what I could do is this market start going up, I can look for opportunities to take it higher to this zone. And I can now look for confirmation to take it lower. Hope that makes sense to you. So what I can start looking at is is break to the upside. If I start seeing breaks to the upside, then I can start looking for opportunities, maybe to enter here to trade. Then when it gets here, I'm looking for opportunities to enter here to trade. If you go to Ethereum, we're going to see a similar thing, which is the last pair I'm analyzing today. If you watch my, I think Friday analysis, this is Friday. I was saying that this is what I expect for Ethereum. If it's in this region, if we see confirmation entry, then we can go lower. And I tell you that this is a confirmation. Let's go lower to 15 minutes. Maybe not a clear confirmation. Not, it didn't really respect our other block, but it's still a confirmation entry. So we can see that we had a tap up. We can start. This is not clear because it happened over the weekend. On Saturdays, you can see the market is really dull on Saturdays. Okay, but this is a clear confirmation. We tap here, went lower, tap up again, and we are going lower. Very similar to this. Very similar to this. If you want to follow this, you can see a movement up, a down movement, movement higher, then lower, then higher and lower. Again, that is what is called a confirmation entry. That shows that okay, the market is likely to it trades. The only problem I have with this one is that we didn't get, because this is the other block here. This is, I didn't take this trade anyway, so I didn't take this particular trade. I don't trade on weekends. This is the other block I would have been considering. Okay, but of course, my stop loss would have been high, like this high here, which will have still kept us safe. And I think this is my target. This is my target. This is my target here. At least which this market is obeying, like obeying. Anyway, this is played out, so I can remove all these things, and we can now reanalyze again to see um, what we can trade for today. So daily time frame. So for crypto, I don't go weekly. I start from daily, simply because it doesn't have the history that forex market has. So if you watch my other analysis, this is the target and this is the target. Like this is actually my final target. I'm expecting Ethereum to actually hit like 2.7, if not 2.6. Okay, I feel that this is going to hit this. Then we can see an upward movement from here. This is possibilities. We've had a break of structure here. We just need a retracement to this region. Then we can now move higher to break another all-time high. So for Ethereum, on the higher time frame, is still bullish, general setup, but on the um, lower time frame, we are expecting a breakdown. If you look at my analysis over the weekend, I've been saying that even before this liquidation we have here, Ethereum setup has been very bearish, and this continues till this very day. So let's go and look for trades to take from the 4 hours. So again, like I said, it's very similar to Bitcoin. But first, I'm going to mark out some areas of reversal from here, from the 4 hours. This one, this another one here. This particular one is a demand zone. But this one has a lot of liquidity. So I'm quite skeptical about this one. And what I call liquidity is this equal high. These are equal high candles. When you have equal high candles, it mostly means that they are not going to be respected, it's going to be swept. And that is why it becomes really important that we wait for a confirmatory entry to take this trade lower from that particular point, because this market can go all the way high from here to go lower. This is a trade that is more that I can actually take without waiting for a confirmation entry, because it looks there's nothing to suggest that it's going to go higher, because these are all efficient zone here. But this one, it suggests that it can go higher because we have equal high liquidity at that particular point. So therefore, it's best to wait for a confirmation entry. Now, before we even take this trade, if you look at these lows, this is the low. I'm interested in this particular one. We want to see this movement downwards. Okay, confirmation entry below, or we see the movement that breaks structure. So again, what I want to see is a break of structure. Break of structure, then we can look for confirmation entry here to go below, or risk entry here to go much below. So let's go down to the 1 hour to see if we can refine this. So the 1 hour, yes, we can refine this particular zone to here. We can refine it this way. Can we refine this one? Yes, we can also refine this one to this particular zone here. But I like to leave it here. And all this still remains. All this one still remains. Okay. Now, let's just go down to the 15 minutes time frame. Now, what I said about Bitcoin still applies to Ethereum, even here. I can refine further, but I'm just going to leave it on the 1 hour. Okay, what I said about Bitcoin still applies to Ethereum. Again, this is what I want to see happen: movement from here to here, or from the one above it. But we don't necessarily need to wait for that, right? That is the general direction we're looking for. But we can have movements this way, then we can now start looking for entries to go higher. Okay, we can start looking for trades here. That is possible the trade we can take today or even take tomorrow before the market retraces to this zone. We want to see a change in structure, market shift to the upside once we see a break here, even if we see the structure start breaking here. So one thing that we can do is to start doing this, is to have this marker here. I like to do this, then have an alert for it. So what means is that if I see a break and I'm looking for entries to go, I'm looking for entries there. That's what it means. However, if we see this go lower, like sometimes you can see it, go like this and go lower like this, keep going lower. You understand? So each time it does this, I'll move this lower this way. Each time I'll just move to lower. I'll just move it. Sorry, I'm moving higher. Move it lower, I mean. And if it is a break, I can now go higher. Hope that makes sense. If that doesn't happen and we see the market breaks lower again, like we see it do this, then I'm going to move this one to this particular zone until we see it broken again. Of course, you have to be looking at the this zone You must be looking at this particular zone to see what is happening here. Are we coming off of another block? Are we coming from an efficient or an inefficient zone? So that's it. This analysis for today. For today, I'm going to take questions in 5 minutes. Question related to what the analysis is. So if you have questions, just go to the charts, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, or wherever you are, and just um, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Wherever you are attending the live from, just type your question in the comment section and I'm going to give an answer to it right away. If there are no questions, I'll see you in Discord tomorrow. I'm going to wait a minute. No questions. I'll see you on Discord. Okay, bye everyone. Have a graceful trading day.